They were around during the Civil War, after all. So would they exist in the multiplayer experience?
Yeah, Big Daddy is obviously a big part of the Bioshock brand. We just couldn't imagine doing a multiplayer for Bioshock 2 without Big Daddies at all. So we managed to put Big Daddies into the game as a sort of power up. So as a splicer, you're running through a match, killing other splicers, and suddenly you find yourself upon a Big Daddy suit laying on the ground, and you can use it. This allows you to become a Big Daddy, a Rosie. So you lose control of your splicer. You don't have any more of your weapons, your plasmids. You are the Rosie. You have the big rivet gun. You have those prox mines. You make loud noises, and you make some pretty devastating melee attacks as well. And your health doesn't regen, as opposed to the splicer. So eventually, you are brought down.
The big inspirations for me personally of what we wanted the Big Daddy to feel like was kind of that first moment in the first game where you come across the first Big Daddy and you have this moment, right? It's like, holy crap, I don't want to get near that thing. I'm really scared. And that was something I really wanted to capitalize and say that's the feeling we want people to have when someone becomes a Big Daddy. And that was, I think we've gotten there, and people really are scared of you when you become that. So it's a thing that people look for and want to become.
As we've discussed before, one of Bioshock's unique features is its plasmid system. In one hand, you can hold your pistol or shotgun, and in the other, a ball of fire, shards of ice. And these are often more useful and lethal than a single bullet. Multiplayer utilizes plasmids, both those from the original game as well as some new ones.
We started by first focusing on the three elementals from the first game: Electrobolt, Winter Blast, Incinerate, basically electricity, ice, and fire. And these are the three ones you start the game with. The difference here is that you can charge them now, so you can anticipate combat and enter it a bit differently if you're that kind of player. And it allows a lot of different combo opportunities. You can free somebody, then go in for the melee kill, or you can zap somebody, then go for a sniper shot, or just tag somebody with fire and they take damage over time. So we support a lot of different play styles through just these three basic ones.
Yep, and if you remember from the first game, a lot of those elements were even more interesting when you started thinking about how they work in the environments, right? So like if you see a pool of water, people act differently around them because they obviously don't want to be walking over them when someone else has an electrobolt in their hand. So just playing with a lot of those ideas from the first game and bringing them to make more dynamic spatial awareness was kind of a key thing for us.
I can talk about two new ones. The first one is called Arrow Dash, which is basically a plasmid that allows you to dash in a straight line forward really, really fast. So you can use that offensively to tackle somebody, follow up with a melee or shotgun shot, or you can use that to navigate a level, go from a balcony to the next, flying through the air, or defensively you can just escape combat, do a quick 180 and do an arrow dash and you're out of there. The second is a geyser trap, which is kind of a take on the cyclone trap from the first game, except it's now water-based. So you throw a geyser on the ground and you can step on it yourself now to navigate again, reach the second floor really fast. It's kind of like a portable jump pad. The good thing about this is if you land it on an enemy and the ceiling's too low, he's going to hurt his head pretty bad. So the plasmid does a lot of different uses like that. You can also charge a geyser on the ground with your electrobolt, so the enemy who steps on it will get shocked before being propelled and hit his head.
Pulling back again from the story and universe of Rapture, and turning to multiplayer mechanics, I inquired more about the technical aspects of the experience. For example, how do people rank up? And how would someone like me, a run-of-the-mill gamer, compare to Emmy, who is absolutely fantastic at this game? I know because I've been playtesting for several weeks against her, and she kicks my butt.
Ranking up is basically, well, it's leveling up. We call them ranks. We call them levels. We accumulate atom. We could call them experience point. It's all just a fictionalized, basically setup. It's a proven method. It's addictive. The more you play, the more you acquire stuff. You get atom by doing a lot of different actions in the match: kills, assists. If you hack turrets or the things. If you finish in a certain position in the match, you get Adam as well. There's trials to complete if you don't want to go after the match standing, so you can get Adam that way as well. So there's a lot of ways to get Adam. So there's a lot of ways to rank up and obtain a lot more, basically, powers with each new rank, which really allows you to customize your playstyle the more you play.
We wanted to kind of bring that element to the multiplayer aspect of playing a role and playing a character and playing a citizen of Rapture and kind of playing through that experience of getting better and acquiring something, right? And so the best fiction fit was to the acquiral, is that a real word, of Adam in the world. And it's an interesting challenge because the multiplayer audience is kind of fit with people who are really good at aiming their controls at a guy's head. But then we also recognize that a lot of Bioshock players are playing because they love the story, they love the fiction, and it was very much an interesting challenge to try to figure out how do we get these people to play together. I mean, and a lot of things will be fixed with matchmaking, but you can't always, assume that that's going to always work. So some of the things that we try to encourage players to do is experiment with other things. So while beating the game or beating the match or winning the match is by kills to just to keep consistency across other games, but you can still survive and do well for your own progression by doing other things that might be more interesting for the people who aren't necessarily interested in just capping heads and killing fools, right? So you can acquire your stuff and rank up and role play and get more stuff by doing other things that I'm not sure if we can talk about today, but you'll find out more about it when you see the game.
Multiplayer games are a massive undertaking, and Bioshock 2's multiplayer experience is no exception. The game is fully playable right now, but is being put through its paces to make sure every aspect of the game is balanced and feels good and rewarding when someone picks up their controller for a match. I'm not only part of our internal playtesting group, but also help arrange external playtesting and focus groups for Bioshock 2, and so have seen the enormity of the task that is balancing the game. And although my own personal experience touches on several different layers of this overall project, the team were at the heart of it and could explain much better than I what a mammoth task balancing Bioshock 2's multiplayer is.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, playtesting is obviously a very important part of this. We have a great number of different types of playtesting that we're doing. I don't know if I can actually talk about focus testing and whatnot, but internally, we are playtesting quite often. We have the internal team here playing once a week. We have another group playing for us internally, the publishing group, who are playing every day for 2 hours a day. And bless their hearts because they are dealing with us. But a lot of it is just we're taking into consideration just clarity of things. Do people understand what's going on in the game? Because honestly, if you've been playing World War II shooters all the time, what the hell are these magic things on the left hand? Like, it is really hard to understand if you've never seen Bioshock before. It was kind of a big thing that our team really harped on was, do they understand what's going on? And then secondly is just, does it feel good to do anything? So, expectation is saying yes to the player was a very strong element of the first game of, if I do this thing, does the world do what I expect it to do? And that's something that is very important to us, making sure that players can actually do what they think that they can do with those tools. And aside from that, we have a team over at DE who are just concentrating on balance, right? And it's definitely hard to balance a game that has over, I don't know, I think I did the math one day, it was like 7 million combinations if you really think about what they put together with one another. That's a really scary thought, but trying to isolate them and reducing the amount of grief that the players can get if they're, if something proves to be exploitative online.
Yeah, there's a lot of possible loadouts. There's a lot to balance with this game. Thankfully, we get a lot of data from so many playtests that are going on, and we basically sit down at least once a week to propose some changes, put them into the game, and playtest again, see if those address the issues we found. And that's how we're balancing.
Quite clearly, I had a lot of questions lingering for the talented duo as our time drew to a close. What were the other maps, weapons, plasmids? And what about that other mystery mode? Luckily, I can tell you, the listener, that all your questions will be answered in the coming weeks and months as more information about the game rolls out. Until then, I have a playtesting session to get to. This is Elizabeth Toby, Community Manager at 2K. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Bioshock 2 podcast series, coming soon.